Good morning, everyone. My name is Anshata Raghuvanshi, Senior Assistant Professor, School of Pharmacy, DBD. Today, I'll tell you something about quality risk management. What is quality risk management? Quality risk management is a systematic process for assessment, control, communication, and review of risk to the quality of drug products across the product life cycle. Basically, here I will tell you what is quality risk management, how we can identify risk or what is the quality based products. So, what is quality? First, before understanding quality risk management, let us discuss what is quality. Quality, we can say that it is a degree of excellence of something. Like if we are manufacturing anything or anything we are doing is related with quality. If the quality is good, then we can say that it is a quality product. So everything is based on the quality. So we can say that quality is the degree of excellence of something. And what is risk? Risk is basically the combination of, we can say that probability of occurrence of harm and severity of that harm. How much probability is there by making of any product that there will be a risk in making this? This is the risk. And how that risk can harm our product, which we have manufactured or on which we are working or our technology, how the risk, how much is the probability of occurrence of risk and how that risk will harm and how much extent it will harm our product. If there is minor risk, then it is negligible also. Sometimes the risk is major, which we cannot neglect, and it causes basic or severe harm to our product. So basically, quality risk management is the process in which we can assess, control, communicate, and review the risk of the quality of the drug product. Okay. Next, basically, there are two principles of quality risk management that are evaluation of risk to quality should be based on scientific knowledge and ultimately linked to the protection of the patient. Second is the level of effort, formality, and documentation of quality risk management process should be commensurate with the level of risk. What is the responsibility? Why we use quality risk management as a tool in assessment of risk? Quality risk management activities are usually, if not always, undertaken by interdisciplinary teams. When teams are formed, they should include experts from the appropriate areas, example, quality unit, business development, engineering, regularity affairs, production, operations, sales, and marketing, legal statistics, and clinical, in addition to individuals who are knowledgeable about the quality risk management process. Like people who are expertise in this area should be included in the team of quality risk management or should be involved in assessment or analysis or evaluation of risk which can occur or which has occurred or which has caused the harm or which will and how much harm the risk will cause to a product. Next, how we can initiate the quality risk management process or how the process is being initiated. Number one is quality risk management should include systematic process designed to coordinate, facilitate, and improve science-based decision making with respect to risk. Possible steps used to initiate and plan a quality risk management process might include the following. Number one is define the problem and or risk question, including cognitive assumptions, identifying the potential for risk. Okay, first of all, we have to define what problem can occur or what will, which type of problem is this, or we can assume that this can occur and this type of risk will harm and at this step the risk will occur. Next, we should assemble the background information and or data on the potential hazard, harm, or human health impacts and which are relevant to the risk assessment. After we have assessed the risk or we have analyzed that this risk or harm can occur, we will make the data of the potential like background data. We will identify and write in points like this risk can occur so that we should work on that point. Next is identify a leader and necessary resources who will lead the problem, or what are the basic resources required in assessment of risk or analysis or evaluation of risk. Next is specify a timeline, deliverables, and appropriate level of decision making for the risk management process. Like we have to make a time frame that in this much of time we will analyze the problem, evaluate the problem, and resolve the risk which has occurred or the hazards of the risk which has occurred. Now, this is the first step of quality risk management. Number one is risk assessment. What is risk assessment? It is the basically it is the identification of hazard and the analysis and evaluation of risk associated with exposure to those hazards. Okay, like what is the risk? Uh, like we have made an assessment, and now we have to think that what can go wrong, what might go wrong, what type of risk can occur. Next, and what is the probability that this risk will occur? Like if we are working on anything, then we will know. Like if we have identified a risk, or we have think that this risk can occur, then what are the chances? Like 10% chances that this risk will occur, 20% chances of occurring the risk. Okay. And then what are the consequences and severity? Like what are the consequences? What if the risk will occur? Then what will the severity of the risk? What harm it will cause? This comes in the risk assessment process. After assessment of risk, we will have to identify the risk. Like it is a what is risk identification? It is a systematic use of information to identify hazards referring to the risk questions or problem description. Information can include historical data, theoretical analysis, informed opinions and concerns of stakeholders. Risk identification address what might go wrong. Question including identifying the possible consequences, risk analysis, then risk analysis. After identification, first is risk assessment, then risk identification. After identification of the risk, it comes the analysis. How we'll analyze the risk? It is the estimation of risk associated with the identified hazards. It is the qualitative and quantitative process of linking the likelihood of occurrence and severity of harm. Okay, this is based on the quality and quantity, how much risk has occurred, which type of risk has occurred. It is a qualitative or quantity. It depends upon the basis of identification. Like it is, if it is qualitative, then it will harm our quality, and if it is in a large quantity, then how much quantity of the product or which extent the product will be harmed. This all points comes under risk analysis. Now, the next step is risk evaluation. It compares the identified and analyzed risk against given risk criteria. The output of risk assessment is either a quantitative estimate of risk or qualitative description of a range of risk. When the risk is expressed quantitatively, a numerical probability is used. Alternatively, risk can be expressed using qualitative descriptions such as high, medium, or low, which should be defined as much detail as possible. As earlier in earlier slide, also I told you that risk is analyzed on the basis of its quality or its quantity. That how much quantity of risk has been occurred, or at which extent it will harm our quality. It is high, medium, low. After control of after the evaluation, then the final step is risk control. The risk, like is the risk is in up to acceptable limit, or what can be done to reduce or eliminate the risk? What is the appropriate balance among benefit, risk, and resources? And new risk introduced as a result of identifying risk be controlled. Like if you're controlling the risk, is there any other risk which can occur or which will harm our product, or how it can be controlled? Then next is after analysis, evaluation, control. The next is risk reduction. It focuses on the process of mitigation or avoidance of quality risk when it exceeds a specified acceptable level. If like there is minor risk, then it can be accepted and it can be evaluated, analyzed, and controlled. But in risk reduction, we assess that it should be basically if our risk is exceeding the acceptable limit or which was specified, it is more than that, then the risk reduction might include action taken to mitigate the severity and probability of harm. What action we have taken to reduce the risk and all this comes under risk reduction. Risk communication. Risk communication is the most important part of quality risk management because communication at any stage of risk management is very. If we have analyzed, suppose as starting only, if we have identified the risk and due to lack of communication, we have not communicated, then the risk will remain there and it will harm the whole product. Then no, if identification will not be communicated, then there will be no process of analyzation, no process of reduction, nothing will be done, and the risk will continue. So communication is very important. The output result of QRM basis process is should be appropriately communicated and documented, so that if proper documentation and communication will not be done, it will be chances of occurring the risk will be again and again, and product will say harming our product will become more and more. This is a mechanism, risk review. This is the mechanism to review or monitor even should be implemented. The output results of risk management process should be reviewed to take into account new knowledge and experience. Risk review might include reconsideration of risk acceptance decision. Thank you for your cooperation.